Funny about that. You know who was asking about you the other day? Who's that? Nobody.
We talking about sports. Get ball.
What it do, baby? Yeah.
What it do, you number one podcast listeners? We are back with a brand new episode of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. I'm your host, Premal and Roshan, and this episode, I'm joined by my big bro, my big cuz, Roshan Bhatt. Rush,
yes,
welcome
sir.
back, man.
It's been a minute.
Little minute. Yeah.
It's probably the longest drought in between episodes.
Yeah, you called dibs, and then Vish kind of jumped you because
and then a bunch of you hoes jumped me.
Yeah, Ohio State won the title, and then yeah, that's what happened. But
yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have a headliner like a Buckeyes win to headline my episode. So, but we got something cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's always spicy. We're always gonna have quotables.
Yeah, sir.
Stay tuned, alert, you number one podcast listeners. We will always deliver for you. We got a lot to cover because you and I haven't talked in a while. So let's get started with the FM or Nah. And
right.
I'm keeping it like short and sweet with the FM or Nah because you know what you came here for is really that you played yourself. So our first and only FM or Nah is Super Bowl 59, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yay.
What the fuck ever. Yay. Who cares? More on that later, by the way, because I think some people would have something to say about our not enthusiastic response, as if we're supposed to have one.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
This matchup is happening for the second time in 3 years. The path to get here was the Eagles blowing out NFC East rival Washington Commanders 55-23. Commanders kind of playing on house money. They're the 6th seed, made it to the NFC Championship in Dan Quinn's first year as Commanders coach and Jaden Daniels' rookie season at quarterback. So definitely outperformed their expectations and made it to the NFC Championship game, but they got destroyed in that NFC Championship game by their division rival, the Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs.
You can't keep getting away with it!
We've heard this before. I think it's up to now 4 times in the playoffs.
It is 4 now.
The Kansas City Chiefs defeated the Buffalo Bills 32-29. Yet another heartbreaking loss for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen versus the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, we've all heard it, but the Chiefs are going for the first ever three-peat in NFL history. In fact, it would be the first in any major sport since the 2000 to 2002 LA Lakers with Kobe and Shaq.
Insane.
Absolutely insane to think about. That was the last time there's a three-peat. And the Kansas City Chiefs are doing it in a league that is full of parity and set up to have parity. The Chiefs have been definitely the standard. Rush.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fame or nah, this Super Bowl, Chiefs, Eagles, a 1 seed on one side, a 2 seed on the other, making it to New Orleans for Super Bowl 59.
This is everything football fans want, right?
Yeah.
I'm an absolute fucking nah. Let's just be real. I know we're supposed to have one phrase. I'm gonna have several phrases, and it's kind of like geared towards the groups. For the Eagles, for the Philadelphia Eagles, your phrase is "you have one job." That's all I'm gonna say. You have one job. The Chiefs, your phrase similar to the Swifties. We're over it.
Petty alert, petty alert, petty alert.
I'm so sick of seeing this team. Every watch is a hate watch at this point. And that's what good teams do. They force you to hate watch. And my last phrase is thank God for Kendrick. We have a K-Dot halftime show. That's going to be pretty sweet. So I'm a fam to that.
Yeah, shout out Team Snacks. Shout out Team Halftime Show. That's a few phrases for me. Totally agree with you. Can't wait to watch those. Obviously, I'm a nod to this one. It's hard for me to think about a matchup I would less want to see than the Dark Magic Kansas City Chiefs, who somehow found a way to get here every year. And also, like, it makes me even more bitter as a fan. Why do they get this repeatedly? It's like the Patriots for a long time.
It's incredibly voodoo luck. How on paper, this was their worst team in the last 6-7 years. This is their worst team on paper. They lost 2 games this year.
2 games.
It's fucking insane.
The difference, I think, this year was like that level of close games statistically, you should not only have 2 losses.
Yeah.
And they somehow just kept surviving in different ways.
There's no law of averages there. And it's just like, what goes up must come down. These bitches have not come down.
Petty alert.
Outside
Petty
of like
alert.
2
Petty
fluke
alert.
games that they lost. And they didn't get blown out in either game. Like,
What does that matter?
and they're like 7 plays from being under 500. This is not real. Like, this is not real football that I'm watching.
Just to give you an idea of this dark magic, 29 years old, in 7 seasons as a starting quarterback, Patrick Mahomes is going to soon make his 5th Super Bowl appearance. 29 years old, all before 30, he's going to be in his 5th Super Bowl and a chance to win. I think this is his 4th. This would be his 4th. Absurd. I'm over the Chiefs and how they fucking find a way every time. But that being said, I hate the Eagles more than I'm over the Chiefs. Sound it.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
I had a feeling.
I do not want to see the Eagles win. I understand people are going to kind of be rooting for them. The more accurate map I saw was like everybody in the entire country is not rooting for either team. And there's a map of red near Kansas City and a map of green near Philadelphia specifically, and everybody else is just this gray team snacks, team halftime show, maybe your team commercial. But
I saw one that said like the gray was meteor strike. So I'm like, they definitely thought of everything on that one. But I'm pretty much with every single one.
So yeah, my phrase in summary is team snacks then, now, and forever. And you number one podcast listeners know I'm destined for it forever. So Team Snacks, the annual edition, is here, and
Yes.
it's always going to be here to stay.
What is this, the third one? Third Team Snacks?
It's the 4th annual Team.
That's incredible, man. What a run.
Yeah. And this is years of not titling it this. We could have had the same title every year. It's probably more than that. It'll continue.
We're just going to, We'll put the 4th episode and make it like Star Wars. We don't know where the other ones are. You know what I'm saying? They're somewhere. This shit ain't chronological.
The only hope we have is co-host having hope for a Super Bowl to not be Team Snacks. So, one day I have that hope for those people I love in my life, but it's not happening for the team I allegedly root for. A little bit more on that later, but you already know that part of football is dead, number one podcast listeners. So, okay. The talk of repeat has me thinking of repetition I've been practicing for exercising my mental wealth. Y'all know I do it with too much sense. I try to be that way, not just for that segment, but elsewhere minus the sports world. But I'm also incorporating the tools I've picked up to make sure I know how to deal with a rut or something tough. That's where that mental wealth comes in. One of the tools I've been using and loving to assist in that quest is Magic Mind. You number one podcast listeners know the drill. You know I'm all about Magic Mind. I said it last episode. They believe in the 5 pillars to help achieve mental health. That's sleep, diet, exercise, stress management, and exogenous compounds, of which they are one of them. Magic Mind intends to help supplement and align with these. They have all clean ingredients. They're all scientifically backed. The caffeine doesn't give you jitters or a crash because it's time released. And now they've added sleep shots, which I feel is like an extra resource that covers all 24 hours of the day so that I'm well rested at night and focused during the day. You number one podcast listeners already know about my sustained higher mental clarity with the performance shots, the ones I've been talking about for, the last 6 months to a year with the performance shots. But the sleep shots are back in regular use now that the Buckeyes won the national championship. You already know last episode I talked about I had to take a break from it. I'm not about to take a sleep shot while I was up late watching highlight after highlight and basking in the glory of the championship. But I'm back to it now that we're over a week past that big dub. But it's allowed me to have deeper rest so I can be focused and with it for my people during the day, including you number one podcast listeners. So with that, I do have something for you because I'm not just talking about it. I want to be about it like I always preach. Number one podcast listeners, got a brand new offer. It's called the 24 Hours Pack. It includes the focus and the sleep shots all in one shipment It's bundled for the very first time, and it is at 45% off. And you can do that by going to the link that is special for us here in the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. That link is in the episode description, but it's magicmind.com/PremJan. That's PremJan, as in Prem Brulee and the month of January. So that's magicmind.com/PremJan. There is no better time to start than now. Not too late. It's never too late to make 2025 the year you build your mental resilience. Improve both your sleep and your weight clarity with Magic Mind. Rush, I know you're all about the performance shots. I got to get you a pack of the sleep shots.
Yeah, man. You know me. I've had trouble sleeping my whole life. I got to get on that.
Yeah.
I'm still a night owl at the end of the day, but
Yeah.
you know, as you get to an older age, what they say is true. You're gonna need that. I'm not gonna say 8 hours. Who the hell actually gets 8 hours?
Yeah, I don't know.
At least 7.
Yeah.
You know, I've been pushing 5 to 6 for like the last 20 years of my life.
Yeah, same. But the nice part about these sleep shots I found, because I was kind of nervous, is like, because I'm a night owl like you.
Yeah.
And I was nervous. I was like, is this going to feel like groggy, like when you're sick and you take like drowsy medicine? But it works with your body. It kind of just makes you feel rested whenever it is you do wake up. It's not going to knock you out as if you can't wake up if you don't get a certain amount of hours of sleep. So that's why I like it. And that's why I like the performance shots, because they're not meant to be like this insane like crash or dip. It's just to help you get there and stay level with it. To help, I think it kind of like clears my mind and helps me get into like a deeper, more restful state. And then that I'm rejuvenated in the morning, can pop in the fridge and get a performance shot on my way out the door. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of clarity, you know what time it is, number one podcast listeners. Let's hit that intro, baby.
I'm petty as hell. And I'm super petty. Here we petty Le Pew. Go.
Okay, you number one podcast listeners. We got a very special You Played Yourself. Rosh and I feel like always feed off each other, and we always have a nice beefy You Played Yourself section, so I counted for that. Figured we only talk about the Super Bowl so we can get to the real petty energy that you and I thrive under.
Yes, of course.
So first, I wanted to address this because really quick, because I think it's a notable move in the college football world. The Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles is on You Played Yourself. You'd ask why. I mean, his defense had an incredible season. They were first in major categories in the entire nation. They dominated the college football playoff in pretty much every game this season. Jim Knowles left Ohio State to take the same position at Penn State. He is getting a bag. He's going to be the highest paid coordinator in the entire nation at just over $3 million a year. Excuse me while I say what the fuck happened there. But also, let's hope it's a You Played Yourself to Jim. And nothing's going to steal my shine from this enjoyment of winning the title. We'll worry about that come fall and depending on who they hire to replace Jim Knowles. But for now, You Played Yourself goes to him. It might be for us, but hopefully not. And Rush, I hinted at it earlier, but we both kind of hinted at this earlier, so I know you're going to have something to chime in with.
Of course.
But my main You Played Yourself for this edition goes to this latest edition of righteous sports analysts and experts that are telling fans that they shouldn't hate on the Chiefs because it's not appreciating greatness. They've been running rampant with this buzz phrase, Chiefs fatigue, trying to call people out for having Chiefs fatigue. You're fucking damn right we have Chiefs fatigue. But if there's a staple on this podcast, it is my disdain for people telling fans how to be fans. And as we add a disclaimer every time, this doesn't go for the crazy people that make things personal and go beyond the field of play or anything like that. This is strictly fans of the sport. Stop telling fans how to be fucking fans. It's not your job to do. I don't expect a former player or someone who's so closely employed by the league that pays their checks to tell fans how to be fans. You're so far removed from it that I don't ever expect you to know what it's like to be a fan. This concept of being tired of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and appreciating greatness, these are not mutually exclusive. No one is acting like he's not good. No one's acting like the Chiefs aren't good. I just don't understand this idea that you must be okay with a certain team or player repeatedly winning. You think people outside of Boston and Tampa Bay wanted Tom Brady to keep winning? No. Does that mean we all don't know he's great? Stop telling fans how to be fucking fans. You're allowed to be tired of the same team winning. We're all fans of teams from one league or another that are tortured because we don't get to experience what this embarrassment of riches that Chiefs fans had and Patriots fans had before that. We want to experience it just once. And forgive us for feeling like one fan base gets to hog it all. I don't think that makes you ridiculous to not root for the team that has won a shit ton. Yeah. Sorry. I'm not fucking sorry. Sound it. I don't give a fuck what you say about telling fans how to be fans. Sure, we might have Twitter fingers and tell coaches how to be coaches, but most of us aren't tweeting or talking directly to the coach telling him how to coach. So you don't need to tell us how to be fans if your head's so far up your own ass that you wouldn't know how to be a fan. Give me a fucking break with that.
And honestly, like, to kind of go with your point, like, who cares if it's Chiefs fatigue? Like, we're all fans of teams that have done, like, me and you. Let's take me and you. We've always been rooting for LeBron. We've always been rooting for the Astros, and we've had a pretty good run with both of them. It is highly okay that everyone during both of those specific runs, everyone hated the Astros. Everyone was tired of the Astros. Everyone hated LeBron. They're like, oh, LeBron just gets to the finals, blah, blah, blah. Then fucking beat him. Yeah. I get it. But it's like, outside of the fan bases of that team, you don't think everyone was sick and tired of seeing LeBron on the same stage? Yeah. The only people who liked it were LeBron fans. And all I remember is I never heard LeBron fatigue once. I never, like, why do the Chiefs get a pass of we have to support their greatness? Everyone knows they're fucking good. This is a historically good defense. They, like, no one scored over 24 points. They're probably going to win the fucking Super Bowl. Yes, this is a historically good team. Patrick Mahomes is historically good. But it's like, and I might have a little revisionist history or recency bias, but like outside of the Tuck rule, I can't really remember Tom Brady's Patriots ever being this whiny or bitchy. A lot of clips have been surfacing from Patrick Mahomes' loss to Josh Allen in the regular season where he was whining about the offsides call. And it's just like, what a whiny bitch way to go out. I'm like, you never see, if anyone has a right to be whiny bitch right now, it's Josh Allen. And that dude shows up every time at the podium and stands on his shit. And it's like the Tom Brady dynasty of the Patriots seemingly lasted like 2 different times for about 8 years a pop. I don't know if I have 4 to 6 more years of watching the fucking Chiefs and diaper running Patrick Mahomes. Like, these generational talents do not need the helps of refs and flopping in football to win games. And I think this makes all of that shit even worse. And it's like Chiefs fatigue. No, we're tired of seeing refs turn 2 playoff games into wins by giving the Chiefs at minimum a 10 points in both games. There were 2 crucial calls in the Texans game that swung the game 10 points minimum. I think it was 14 total. I'll give it 10. And then the Bills game, there was 2 egregious calls that swung it exactly 10 points. You can't tell me that I have to be a fan of watching this shit play out in real time, and you see Twitter analyst after Twitter analyst after NFL Network. You get Troy Aikman on the air talking about this shit. Like, you could tell he was tired of it. And then you want to get mad at fans for being tired of it? Come on, man. Everyone loves this sport. Everyone loves watching football. It's the most watched sport. No shit, everyone hates the Chiefs. No fucking shit. And it's, if anything, I would argue it's good for the game to be so hateful towards the team because they've been giving everybody the business for 20 years or whatever. Tom Brady, 20 years. Everyone hated him because everyone's team got their ass kicked by him. So you have to hate him. Why do we have to like it? insane takes. And everyone's teams have anybody's like normal team, like in no matter what, like they have that one team that has your team's number. Like for the Texans, it's the Baltimore Ravens. I can't remember a single time we beat that team. And they had Joe Flacco. They've had like fuck knows who. And
for the Cowboys, it's their front office.
Yeah. Sound it.
Petty alert.
Yeah, but
Petty
it's just
alert.
like,
Petty alert.
do you want me to not have Ravens fatigue when they beat our ass 34-2 on Christmas?
Oh, no.
I was like, come on, man, leave me alone.
Rush, please appreciate Lamar Jackson while he's beating your team.
Yeah, seriously. Damn.
Sorry, I can't boo him.
All right, before we get to the headliner, I had a couple of my own you played yourselves.
All right.
Yeah, I know the headliner is pretty much everyone knows who the headliner is, but I wanted to jump in here and get a few in. I want to send a quick you played yourself to all of us baseball fans because we're going to be watching this year, and the Dodgers continue to defer contracts and sign players and seemingly printing money from the Bank of Otani. And we're all the dickheads who are about to watch 162 games of this shit just to see the result everyone knows is going to happen. Quick recap: the Dodgers will be getting Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher, back. They signed the top free agent pitcher, Blake Snell, for 5 years, a cool $182 million. The top free agent bat, Teoscar Hernandez, 3 years, $66 million. Top free agent reliever, Tanner Scott, 4 years, $72 million. The top international prospect, Roki Sasaki. Like, fam, what the fuck? This is a level, and this is multiple levels. This is a level of dick riding and ring chasing I have not seen in my entire lifetime of watching baseball. I mean, I saw the Yankees stack the deck with MVPs in the 90s and 2000s. Like, should we even play this season? I mean,
crazy.
Like, for real, credit to the Dodgers and their front office for hanging their nuts on everyone. And, like, they have the market share and all these things that let them get away with this shit and all these deferrals. But holy shit, man, I don't think we've ever needed a lockout more. There's got to be a salary cap. This level of fuckery cannot continue. And we're all dumber for giving our money to the baseball because we know what's going to happen in October.
We're going to fall for it.
They can injure five starting pitchers and still have 8 starting pitchers. Like,
crazy.
It's an embarrassment of riches. And I know you use that phrase earlier, but it's perfect for the Dodgers.
Emphasis on the riches.
Anyway, that was my quick baseball you played yourself. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. And so I got another one. Ghost Stros, baby. And Bregman signed the contract. All right, so I'm going to move gears a little bit. My next you played yourself, I'm just going to give you 3 names, okay? Matas Buzelis.
Who?
Steven Castle.
Who?
Andre Jackson Jr.
Who?
You might be hearing those names. I don't know who you're thinking. Like, who are these guys? Are they soccer players? Like, if you're an unk like me, you probably found yourself asking who?
Who?
Well, my friends, I'd like to introduce you to the 2025 Slam Dunk Contest. Who the fuck are those guys? I know I'm old, but I legitimately, I saw this tweet and I was like, I have no idea who these guys are. Rounded out by the 3-time participant Matt McClung. He's going for a 3-peat. I didn't know that either, by the way. But, this is what we got left. And This is who's in the dunk contest. This is something I used to watch growing up religiously. Like, I didn't really care about the All-Star game much. The Slam Dunk Contest was where it was fucking at.
All-Star Saturday night was huge.
It's just a pinnacle of basketball. It's just so fun, so creative, and like I don't even know if this is a hot take anymore to say, but the NBA kind of fucking sucks. I find myself watching fewer games than I've ever seen in my life, and it's truly an unk moment to like watch games when they're on TV and really understand all the old heads that started saying, back in my day, that because I feel like a back in my day type of guy now. All these logo threes and shot chucking. I think those old sons of bitches were onto something, man. I'm not even gonna lie. However, shout out to the Rockets though. They are clapping cheeks, and I will be on that fan wagon so fast if they go on a deep run in the playoffs. But man, what an exciting team. That's all I got for my you played yourselves. I don't know if you'll be watching the slam dunk contest. I won't be.
No, I mean, it hasn't been good. Now,
I'll give you $5 if you can tell me what team any of those guys are on. Seriously, I'll give you $50.
This is a pro LeBron podcast we have here. But one of the few blemishes I always say about LeBron is that he never did a dunk contest. And even more so, I think him never doing one kind of set the standard, so to speak, to not have the best players in the game compete in the dunk contest. So that's like a major blemish to me that I wish he would have competed in one even early in his career, because now it's given the green light for our best players in the game to not do a dunk contest. And it sucks because how exciting would a dunk contest be if they got Ja Morant to do it, if they got Zion Williamson to somehow be healthy enough to do it? Like those would be really cool things to have.
Bro, Jalen Green,
star players don't do it.
These dudes got hops.
Exactly.
These dudes got hops, and we're not going to see it. Yeah.
I know we've talked about it before, but we'll see. I mean, maybe these young players. I only know Castle because he was from UConn and a really key player in their championship runs. But, and then obviously McClung's won the last couple years.
Yeah.
But pretty sure he's a G League guy, so they keep asking him to come back, and that tells you what you need to know too. So okay, number one podcast listeners, I know that you all want the fire regarding the Cowboys. Specifically, you may or may not have heard the Cowboys made a head coaching hire. You may have not heard for once because Mr. Steal the Headlines decided to drop this announcement on a Friday night at 10 p.m. So that should tell you everything you need to know about the hire. But the Dallas Cowboys named their new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, a.k.a. Shotty, a lifetime assistant who was already in their building and no other team was gunning to hire. Number one podcast listeners, this is the stance I'm taking. I know you want the heat. I know you want me to be mad. But I've told you before, I refuse to be surprised, and I'm trying to actually live by it. Football next season can't be dead if it was never alive to begin with. That's where we're trending. Instead of me leading the witness, so to speak, I'll hit you, number one podcast listeners, with two clips. The first clip is from Jerry Jones. Let's run it.
Now, I get my proverbial ass kicked over needing people in my comfort zone. Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience.
Okay, next clip. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Don't worry. I'm not just going to leave you with the clip, number one podcast listeners. Next clip is from the Cowboys COO and Jerry's son, Stephen Jones.
Obviously, we're also evaluating where it didn't go right, in terms of, this drought that people say we're in terms of a championship game or a Super Bowl. And
okay, number one podcast listeners, obviously, you're listening to this in your number one podcast listening headphones. Maybe it's out loud on a loudspeaker in your home so everybody can hear it. That would be nice.
That would be really cool of you, yeah.
Yeah, it would be really cool. Some important context, specifically with the Stephen Jones clip. Stephen Jones, during the press conference, the introductory press conference for Brian Schottenheimer, air quoted when talking about the drought, as if the Cowboys conference championship and championship drought isn't an absolute fact. He air quoted it as if it was debatable to say they haven't won since 95.
So, congratulations, you played yourself.
So I'll leave you with that for that clip. The first clip that I ran for you all from Jerry Jones. I think if you have to tell someone you can't operate out of your comfort zone, you probably don't operate out of your comfort. That clip by Jerry tells specifically Cowboys fans and the public one thing. Jerry has clearly been reading and listening to what people have said about him. And that is that he only hires people he can control and people who have a history with the Dallas Cowboys franchise. The Cowboys interviewed a shockingly low number of candidates to fill their head coaching vacancy. This all came after they let Mike McCarthy's contract expire, didn't negotiate with him in time, and didn't seem to have an alternative plan. Perhaps they were assuming McCarthy would come back, but he didn't. So here we are. But the critique has been loud, and Jerry Jones clearly heard it because he took an unprompted moment to talk about the whole comfort zone thing that Cowboys fans have been ranting. Not me, though. Football's dead. It's not even alive to begin with, so it doesn't need to die again next year. But, you know, I'm trying to be a positive person here. Since the Jones family only cares about that one victory of being atop the Forbes list for most valuable franchises, I'm going to call this a victory for us fans because our comments got to him. See, we both can claim fake titles.
We gotta hang the banner on that one.
Hang the fucking banner. Most valuable franchise got under Jerry Jones' wrinkly ass skin.
Yeah, I mean, you think he listens to Prem Brulee, man? You think he heard the podcast? Hey,
I hope he did.
Mr. Jones,
I hope he did.
The invite is always there. It's always open. I got two guys who want to have a very civil conversation with you. I think it would be very productive. I volunteer as mediator. So if Mr. Jones, if you're either one, you know, Steven too, he can come get the business, you know. Steven, Jerry, sir, I know y'all got a lot of money. If you would please come on this podcast, that would be great. We just want to talk.
Open invite.
We just want to talk.
Maybe I'll even declare football alive again so that I can be pained again. Just if you come on here.
Yeah.
One more thing, for context's sake. In case you were wondering, everybody knows about Jerry Jones being in charge, but these two clips are from the two people most in charge of the Dallas Cowboys franchise who make the most important decisions impacting the team. And that's where I'll leave you, other than this very important cinematic from the historical archives of cinema history, a clip that perfectly sums up the Dallas Cowboys experience and those two, Jerry and Stephen Jones.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
That about sums it up.
That's a classic, man.
Okay, Rush, you got any non-sports you played yourselves?
I'm not sure why a lot of mine tend to be like work-centric, but this has been happening a lot since, like, you know, it's January. Like we had a holiday. Like my work was cool enough to give us from Christmas to January or to New Year's off. So that's cool. You know, what that does entail is a pretty busy January right out of the gate. But My You Played Yourself goes out to people who send emails at like 10 p.m. or 6 a.m. Why? Why do you do that? You know, in most like Microsoft Outlooks or Team or Gmail, Workspace, or whatever you use, there's an option to schedule your emails. Not trying to be the Indian guy telling you how to do stuff on tech, but this schedule feature, you should use it. It's right next to the send button. You can just send it at 8:30 in the morning when I'm supposed to be working, instead of you know, stop giving people Sunday, Monday, Tuesday night scaries by sending around-the-clock emails. I beg you guys to spend time with your family. I beg you guys to touch grass, to do anything besides working at 8:55 p.m. on a Saturday night. Please go fuck yourself. This is not anyone at work, by the way, if my job's listening to this podcast. This is no one. I'm talking about another job I had.
Not this one.
Not this one. It's a different job.
Nice cover. My non-sports you played yourself, you know, I'm a big stickler on like cleaning up my email and making sure it's like not crazy. I hate notification bubbles, all that stuff.
Same.
But I got a bone to pick with these companies, with all these promotional emails everybody gets these days, offering like 5 and 10% off deals as if it's something substantial. Come on, guys. If you're going to offer a sale, at least make it look like a sale, or do something like free shipping, but it's not really that much off. I'd much rather see a free shipping offer than you try to tell me 5 to 10% off is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here with that. I see right through you. You people that get enticed by these small ass deals, or like, another one of my favorites is that it's like buy one get one for 25% off.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
12.5% off, guys.
That's a fake deal if I ever seen one.
It's a fake deal. Like,
they're honestly grifting your ass because you were never going to buy 2 in the first place.
Exactly. And you got 12.5% off each.
Which is slightly more than tax, people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually been doing a lot of retail tussling of my own, and I'm coming to see all these shitty deals. And I'm like, you know when you add stuff in your cart and you leave it there and they'll send you, did you forget something? And it's like, here's 5% off. Bitch, 5% is not going to help me make this decision. Get fucking real.
It helps you make the decision to clear the cart.
Yeah, I almost always, I'm insulted. Hashtag my heritage. I'm like, bro, you can't do this to me right now. I'm deleting this. Cannot. You lost the customer. 5%.
Start with 20.
Yeah.
Honestly.
20 would get the job done.
We don't even need to talk. Yeah,
20 would get the job done.
Yeah, I'm not asking for crazy. Now, number one podcast listeners, Magic Mind, 45% off. See, I wouldn't.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so here I am. I'm practicing what I preach here.
That's 45, not 425. That's 45%.
4-5, yeah. 4-5, like Jordan when he came out of retirement. That number. Okay, let's move on to Am I Hatin'? We already know the spiel, this segment. Number one podcast listeners, still waiting for one of you to hit me with the intro for this one. Am I hating? We're going to say things might be hating, but it's a safe space anyway, Roche. My am I hating? I'll let you go after me. You already know, we've talked about it. You're in the Team Snacks edition. One of the biggest events of the year is coming, and this being Team Snacks is a good time to remind number one podcast listeners and bring this one back. My am I hating goes to picky eaters. Fam, please help me understand. How can grown adults not be willing to try new? Y'all really ain't mature enough to decide something after at least trying it? You can't take a bite of something as a grown-ass person? There's a whole world out there beyond your toddler palates. Please. I invite... Touch grass, the equivalent of grass. Touch a plate. Touch someone else's plate.
Respectfully.
Broaden your horizons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not asking you to like everything. I'm just saying you got to at least try. Like, don't give me this decision you made as a child, or you weren't shown a lot of foods as a kid beyond your control at that point. But now that you're an adult, I think you can afford to broaden your palate a little bit, or at least try. Let's push some boundaries. Roche, you got one? Am I hating?
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to rub people a certain way, but my am I hating if I hate Valentine's Day? Like,
damn.
Let me finish. I love love. I love tons of things. I love you, man.
I love you.
I love myself. But what a crock of shit holiday filled with some of the lamest presents known to man. I know I don't have a lot of room to speak on presents as I know I'm like an anti-capitalist. I don't buy stuff for Christmas or my girlfriend's birthday or whatever. But chocolate, flowers, teddy bears. I mean, I don't know. None of that shit seems cool. And then you're just buying like perfumes, jewelry. Like, man, it's so fucking played out.
Yeah.
Normalize buying flowers for the hell of it. I promise you, fellas, or ladies, whatever. I promise you, a bouquet of peonies on a random Thursday will get you much further in life than some roses on Valentine's Day.
Hell yeah.
When your partner comes and tells you what a great job you did, just remember me and the number one podcast in your headphones.
What it do, baby?
Yeah. That's my am I hating. But also, am I loving? Am I loving? You know what I'm saying? Give your partner flowers whenever the hell you feel like it.
I love that. Yeah. I'm in. Yeah.
March 11th. Go get flowers, all y'all.
Hell yeah. just cuz. I love the just cuz ones.
You know what I'm saying?
And yes, people out there, learn your significant other's favorite flower. Don't just be doing it. Now, their favorite flower could be roses, but don't give me that boring, like, generic, just default to roses. Like, learn their favorite flower. And my wife likes lilies. I know that. Like, come on. Let's go. Step it up. Not just on February 14th. I like that.
Yeah.
Great one.
Yeah, man.
All right, number one podcast listeners, let's move on to who you got and what you feeling. Okay, Rush, first up on who you got. Vish and I last episode picked all the way to the Super Bowl, but since we're getting close to Super Bowl 59, I wanted to get your pick now that we have the official matchup, because Vish kind of picked both teams, but I think his official prediction was Bills over Commanders in the Super Bowl, so he had the wrong picks, but I had Chiefs over Eagles as my Super Bowl pick, so I did get the two teams that are playing the Super Bowl correct. They were, it's not a stretch. Those were pretty obvious picks, obviously. Yeah. But Rush, who you got? Who wins the Super Bowl? Chiefs or Eagles?
Yeah, the Chiefs are going to win. I've seen the script. The Chiefs are going to win. They're going to win on a fucking Harrison Butker field goal after a Jalen Hurts miracle drive with 42 seconds left. Mahomes is going to get down to the field, and Harrison Butt Kicker is going to, send women back to the kitchen, as he would love to do.
Yep.
And he's going to hit like a 53-yarder, something insane. And the Chiefs will be the first three-peat winner in how long you said? 2002? Yeah.
Yeah, in any major sport, yeah.
I've seen the script, man, and I don't like it, just for the record. The script sucks.
Zero fun, sir.
Travis Kelce, if y'all win, you motherfucker, you better propose and you better retire. I've had enough of you, bro. If you win this three-peat, I challenge you to propose to Taylor Swift, get married, and get the fuck off my football fields. I'm tired of it, bro.
Petty alert.
Tired of it. It's time to break this group up.
So that's my prediction, including after the game.
I think the Vegas line is like Chiefs favored by like 2.5, so nothing crazy. It kind of bodes perfect for what you just said about the script. I'm sticking with my pick, Chiefs over Eagles. Yeah. The Dark Magic Chiefs. I mean, in all seriousness, their coaching does show up. Andy Reid shows up for big games.
Yep.
I mean, that fourth down call by their defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, to call a zone corner blitz.
Insane.
On Josh Allen. And Josh Allen still got it there. I still think Dalton Kincaid probably could have caught that.
For sure.
But what a crazy dial-up of a call. They mostly run man. He called a zone corner blitz.
I wish my team was that creative, and I wish my team did things in situational football, and I don't know what that is. I mean, honestly, see it on the field, and this is what I'm saying. Like even without these bogus ref calls, the Chiefs are fucking good. They do stuff every game where I'm like, I don't think since I started watching the Texans in 2002, I've ever seen them do anything that creative. And I feel like they do that shit once every 2 games.
Like their crucial plays that they called to ice the game.
Yes,
were like you could tell they knew exactly what they were going to call. It was like the perfect, like who throws to Samaje Perine to
with the game on the line.
The game
is on the line.
Perfect call for the defense. They just knew. It's just, and
incredible.
Then combine that with the dark magic. There's no,
you can't.
There's no beating them. So, I just, it goes back to what we had on You Played Yourself. I just want to know what it's like as a fan to like.
I would love to
feel that confident. We just experienced it with the Ohio State win, but they had 2 losses earlier in the year. During the playoff run, it felt that way, but also you had that like, oh, we could have been doing this all year, frustration with it. But what would it feel like to be a fan of your favorite NFL team and just know, oh no, Mahomes got this.
Yep.
Like everything about that game, somehow he had a chance to score a touchdown to go up. The Bills hold him to a field goal to go up 3.
Mm-hmm.
Bills get the ball back with about 2 minutes left for a chance to win the game. They don't convert, and then he ices the game. It's like, oh, just when you think, oh, maybe there's just a little sliver of hope. Nope, it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, you're combining dark magic with
and my team.
People who've been there.
One good thing about your team is they haven't had to play the Chiefs in a moment like that. So, kudos to you.
Yeah,
I've had about 4 heartbreaks. Yeah, I've had about 4 heartbreaks to this dark magic team.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes probably be retire. Yeah, maybe we'll be playing meaningful football by the time the next era of dominant quarterback happens.
He might be coaching by then.
Maybe. I mean,
he might be
even that's not.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
he might be doing his own air raid offense by then.
But yeah, I'm sticking with my pick. But also, who cares? Go Team Snacks. Go Kendrick Lamar halftime show, like we said earlier. So, okay.
K-Dot should be fun, man. He's bringing SZA. Really it should be pretty fire.
I'm sure he'll have other surprise guests too. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what he pulls out with the halftime show.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to have a little bit of fun in honor of our episode title, Team Snacks. Rush, we've done this before in past editions, but it's been a couple years like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
I want to do our Super Bowl snack Mount Rushmore.
All right.
It doesn't have to be in any particular order.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go first,
All
and then you give me yours. Okay. Super Bowl, I consider everything like a snack. Everything's part of a spread. I'm a grazer, so everything's fair game for me. So my Mount Rushmore, these first two are easy. Wings, that's like my top food ever.
Yeah, that's the George Washington.
Got to be up there. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Tried and true. Next up, if there's something I love, second to wings, I affectionately call them nachos. Nachos got to be on there. So specifically, I'm talking like toppings galore. Some people call nachos just like chips and cheese. That's not nachos. I'm talking full spread, a protein on there, veggies, the whole nine. Next up, I should preface this, I'm keeping this to like food, not drinks, but you can feel free to add what you want, because you already know Coke, McDonald's sponsor your boy.
Yeah,
I'm top fan here, but that would be on top of my drink list. Next up on my Mount Rushmore, I gotta have chips and dip. Also in honor of that one edition we had where Vish put it at the top of his list and Frito-Lay sent him a care package for putting it there. So we'll never forget that moment in Prem Brulee lore.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. But big chips and dip guy. And I think it's kind of a cheat code in this Mount Rushmore game because it can include a lot of things. So chips and dips up there. And my latest love, I'm a sucker for. If a place has it, I'm probably getting it as an appetizer. Soft pretzels, if they do pretzel bites, a full-on pretzel.
I love a soft
with
pretzel.
Some cheese. And I also love mustard, so I'm getting both if that's an option.
Facts.
I know it's a hot take. Some people hate it, but
mustard all the way.
Mustard, but all for it. So that's my Mount Rushmore. Wings, nachos, chips and dip, and soft pretzels. So, Rush, hit me with yours.
Look, man, that list is elite. I don't have a lot of issues with that list. I think my only hole that I would get the only hole in this Mount Rushmore is having two kinds of chip related entries, you know. So I'm gonna throw a yellow penalty flag on that, and I'm gonna give you just some honorable mentions, and maybe you can pick one to swap out chips and dip, because you know nachos. You even said it. If it's just chips and cheese, it's kind of chips and dip. So all right. Here's my honorable mentions. Potato skins.
Oh, great one.
Jalapeno poppers.
Oh, J-Pops.
And pizza. I think those three food items, you could get like, what are those triple dippers or whatever those things are called?
Yeah.
You know, chicken strip, whatever. Yeah, and of course, you know, an ice cold beer never fails to hit the spot if you're thirsty with all this like salty shit going on. It's your one true cheat day where you can eat like an asshole, and even
calories don't count on Team Snacks Day,
calories don't fucking count, man.
Just remember that, number one podcast listeners.
Yes, sir.
Don't be that person.
Yeah. So those are the three I would offer up.
Also, we gotta fuck out of here with the obligatory veggie tray, guys. On Super
I'll
Bowl
fuck with
Sunday.
the veggie tray, man. No.
Listen,
not even a celery and ranch.
If it comes with the wings, maybe.
All right, fair.
If you need a palate cleanse, but
that's fair. No rabbit food, people.
Yeah, hell no, not on that day. And the calories don't count, so you don't have to worry about it. Number one podcast listeners.
Yeah.
Okay, I love those honorable mentions. I agree with your argument now that I'm saying it. Now, I'm not going to, for integrity purposes, I will keep my Mount Rushmore, but if I were replacing the chips and dip.
No, let's just add a president to the Mount Rushmore. That way you can still double down. You know,
Pizza feels like a classic, but I feel like everybody's going to have pizza on theirs, and like every Super Bowl party has one of those, so maybe I'm taking it for granted. But I think my unsung hero is the J-pop jalapeno poppers.
I love a
think
jalapeno popper, man.
Yeah, there's something about them. It's such a unique thing, so I think I gotta go different. And then my nostalgic honorable mention, we grew up going to Super Bowl parties, and now we make them occasionally too, but pinwheels, like when you make a little tortilla that has like some kind of filling in it, and you wrap it up and you cut it into bite-sized pieces.
All right.
Yeah. That's very nostalgic for me, so it has a special place in my heart, but that's kind of like pretty specific, so
yeah.
That's my nostalgic honorable mention. But great honorable mentions, and great argument to my list. But
yeah,
all right,
just keeping the integrity in this episode.
You know us, number one podcast listeners, we're nothing but with the highest integrity here.
Yes, sir.
And the spiciest it takes, the pettiest of energies. So we have it all here. Rush, let's move on to what you feeling. You go ahead and go first. What are you feeling lately? You haven't been on here in a while.
Honestly, with my little complaint about the NBA, baseball season's around the corner. Go Stros. Bregman, sign the fucking contract, please.
Sign it, baby.
I also love the springtime just because the weather gets better. Concert season, and this year, your boy's getting married in May. So
let's go.
So shout out to my fiance now. It's crazy because I remember I got engaged in very early November, like the day after Halloween, and I was like, all right, I'll tell the number one podcast on my next episode, and it's been that long. So right now it's January 28th, and we already got the wedding plan. So shit moves fast. It's very exciting. The folks who are invited have probably gotten their invites. I know you got yours today. So
yeah, I made the cut, baby.
Shout out.
Shout out, baby.
You made the cut.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Just number one podcast listeners, I'm also feeling the fact that Premal will be officiating my wedding, just for the record.
Hell yeah, man.
I'm very pumped about that. I'm extremely feeling that.
I'm definitely pumped about that.
We're pumped, yeah.
You number one podcast listeners don't have any clue, but I was like, I knew I didn't want to steal the thunder, but I was like, I was asking Roche if I could share it or if you're going to, and he's like, no, I'm going to. And then we haven't had you on. You don't know how hard it's been to bite my tongue during what you feeling, but yeah, man, I'm so happy for you and your fiance, and can't wait to celebrate you guys.
Yeah,
so well deserved for both of you, and yeah, it's finally finally get to have it on here. This
has only been 3 months. Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, but I can't wait to officiate it. It's someone I'm so close with, so a huge honor for me, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I do right by Rush and his future wife, man.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time.
Yep, it's going to be fat.
But yeah, that hard to top that, bro.
Yeah.
Hard to top that one. Hell yeah. Number one podcast listeners, we're all always behind our co-host, and couldn't happen to a better person, I assure you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Better people, I should say.
What you feeling, man? Yeah, what you feeling, man?
Yeah, can I still say I'm still feeling Ohio State being national champs?
Yeah, of course, man. It's only been 1 week.
Yeah.
You got at least. When does the next season start? August? You're good.
Yeah.
You can talk that shit until August.
I'm enjoying it.
And
Jim
honestly,
Knowles leaving can't hurt the vibe. Like, yeah, I'm cloud nine.
Hey, Chip Kelly might leave too.
Yeah, man, your pro team's trying to steal him reportedly.
I ain't even mad.
We'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Hopefully the train rolls along and we get the next best coordinators and keep things going.
This is a start of the other three-peat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hell yeah.
Let's get a three-peat going, baby.
Dope. What it do, baby? Yeah.
And then the other thing I'm feeling, I talked about both my boys' birthdays, but we had their birthday parties. We did one with some close family and one with friends. It had me feeling immense gratitude. That cliche is that it takes a village, and it is very true. We're blessed with an incredible one that loves Baird Notice so much. So I had me and my wife feeling immensely grateful, and had so much love in those two parties, so it was a great time to see the two boys enjoy themselves. Barrett's getting to the age where he'll remember, but Otis won't know. He'll probably just see pictures and videos. But yeah,
those pictures hit later in life, man.
They do.
You've seen your pictures, and you just like, those are game changers, man. Like,
yep,
yeah.
I have a whole appreciation for that stuff later. They definitely will, but right now I'm appreciating it, so that's good for me. So those first few birthdays are for the parents anyway, and it's so true. That was quite the what you feeling with this big news for you number one podcast listeners we're finally able to drop. But you know how we like to wrap up each episode with that too much sense, so let's hit it. Okay, number one podcast listeners, my too much sense for this week is to focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself. Let me say that again. Focus on improving yourself, not proving yourself. I think when we attach this term of proving it, the motivation becomes external, and we seek outside validation, which can be fleeting. Usually that's the best case scenario. But improving yourself implies you're doing it for you. There's a win there that isn't based off anybody else, and that's powerful and motivating. And I think that external validation comes with that quest to improve yourself. So it's my too much sense for this week.
I love that, man. And honestly, when you improve yourself, most people take notice to this, and they'll give you the validation you're wanting anyway.
Absolutely.
They kind of come hand in hand. Why not do the one that has a better long-term effect on you and the people that really mess with you and are in your life? Yeah. So shout out to that. That one resonates.
Oh yeah, they want that for you too.
Yeah, and if they don't want that for you, that's a whole other too much sense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, big time. That is a whole nother too much sense. But number one podcast listeners, that's a nice segue into reminding you about that Magic Mind. Speaking of improving your own self, magicmind.com/PremJan. That's PREMJAN. Don't forget to go get that 24-hour pack with the focus shots and the sleep shots all in one bundle for up to 45% off. I already talked about it. Don't play yourself. Check the link in the episode description and go get yours. But anyway, number one podcast listeners, that does it for a brand new episode of the number one podcast in your headphones, Prem Brulee. I've been your host, Premal Bhatt, joined by my co-host, Roshan Bhatt. Thanks, man, for joining me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Always a pleasure.
It was good to have you back.
Yes, sir.
Momentous occasion and momentous news we got to drop and what you're feeling.
Hell yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. Number one podcast listeners, you know the drill. Make sure you share the episode. Share it on your social media. Tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you haven't liked, commented, subscribed already, what are you waiting for?
If you got a fiance, tell your fiance. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Boost those numbers up.
Let's go, baby.
If she's marrying into it, so we might as well get this started.
You know?
But number one podcast listeners, you already know how much I appreciate you all and appreciate all the shares and your feedback and you guys listening to the episode and enjoying it. It means the world to me. That's the best part of this amongst a whole bunch of great parts of it. So I love that you guys love it because I love doing this. I love getting to record with you, Rush, and
of course, man,
with Vish and all the great co-hosts. So number one podcast listeners, this has been a brand new episode of Prem Brulee. We will talk to you next time.
Yes, sir.